we want to talk about is Facebook groups and Reddit groups. We know that for many, many years, they've been very useful, but how people sort of use them was very different. And to say a Facebook group is the same as a Reddit group is definitely not definitely not the case. People shouldn't walk into them with sort of the same expectations, probably. But there are a lot of really good strategies out there that media companies probably should still be using. So Penny, what are your thoughts or your advice that you give people on this topic?
Yeah, and I've watched this strategy evolve over the years. I would say probably 4 or 5 years ago, we were telling newsrooms to create Facebook pages around weather or sports or education or other things. And that, if you still have those, that's a very important audience to continue to cultivate. Um, but we know that Facebook traffic isn't what it used to be. Traffic doesn't grow on trees anymore, so you're not going to expect the volume from those groups. But they're a huge area for engagement with your audience. So it might be more of an engagement tactic with your reporter, and I would include Nextdoor in that too, right? If you can be in some of those neighborhoods or communities, depending on where you live. Reddit subreddits, of course, and the Facebook groups. And what does that look like? Um, that's really just being an active and contributing member of that Facebook group. So as a reporter, if you're an education reporter, you can be in that group and you're not going to just, blast links, because that's not going to be great for the audience. They're not going to be interested in that. Reddit moderators are going to, put the kibosh on that for sure. But using it to find story ideas, to maybe even share tidbits of information like, hey, I'm a local reporter, an education reporter, working on, this new policy by the school system. I want to talk to folks, or I want to ask some questions, or maybe say, hey, I was at the Board of Education meeting. Even just showing that you're out and about in the community is a great thing. So, definitely engagement tactic for reporters. And it also helps with just that overall retention and audience loyalty. If you have a subscription or membership, uh, anytime you as a reporter or an editor or an audience producer can show where you're working in the community, where you're out and about, people know you're there. And that just adds value to your bottom line.
Yeah, it's like we used to like the goal in years past was like, where's the page view?
Yeah,
Like I should hope I'm gonna get a page view. And now like it's not to say that like we still don't need obviously people getting to our sites. We obviously do, but we have to think about these platforms in a totally different way where it's, I mean, you said it well, it's like community building, audience building, utilizing it to have like one-to-one, being there for people when they have questions in those groups, like those are the touch points that are really going to matter for like our brands going forward.
totally. And even just thinking, we didn't touch on Instagram, but just thinking about um, we see so much with vertical videos and people who are doing the walking and talkings, the reporter on air, they're in the community, maybe broadcast folks are doing a little different on scene stand-ups. That builds trust. We've seen studies about kind of that personal relationship building trust. And if you're a face in that Facebook group, you're also building trust. So that's another valuable part of it as well.